I don't know about you, but I've always dreamed of owning a supercar. The speed, the power, the looks. It's the ultimate way to make a statement on the road. But not all supercars are created equal, and that's why we're counting down the 15 most luxurious ones in the world. Trust me, you're gonna want to see this. Lamborghini Huracan STO. On our list of the most luxurious supercars in the world, we've got the Lamborghini Huracan STO. Now this ain't your average Lambo. No. This bad boy is packing some serious heat under the hood. First off, let's talk about that engine. The Huracan STO is rocking a 5.2-liter V10 that churns out a mind-blowing 631 horsepower and 416 pound-feet of torque. That's enough power to make your head spin faster than the wheels on this thing. But it's not just about raw power with the STO. Lamborghini has also given it a rear-wheel drive system that makes it an absolute blast to drive. Trust me, you'll be grinning from ear to ear as you whip this thing around corners. And if you thought that was impressive, wait until you hear about the downforce on this beast. The Huracan STO has got 53% more downforce than its predecessors, which means it sticks to the road like glue, even at high speeds. It's like having a giant hand pushing you down onto the asphalt. Of course, all that performance doesn't come at the cost of luxury. The Huracan STO has got an interior that's dripping with high-end materials and premium touches. You'll feel like royalty as you sit behind the wheel of this thing. But the real kicker? Lamborghini has managed to shave off 43 kilograms of weight compared to previous models. That means the Huracan STO is not only powerful and luxurious, but also incredibly nimble and agile. And let's not forget about the design. The Huracan STO looks like it's ready to tear up the track with its aggressive styling and functional aerodynamics. It's the kind of car that'll make you do a double take every time you see it. Maserati MC20. At number 14, we've got a car that's making a serious comeback, the Maserati MC20. This thing is packing some serious heat, and it's not just because of that sleek Italian design. Under the hood, the MC20 is rocking a mid-engined 3.0-liter V6 that's putting out a whopping 621 horsepower. That's right, 621 prancing ponies ready to take you on the ride of your life. And with 538 pound-feet of torque, you'll be pinned back in your seat every time you hit the gas. But it's not just about raw power with this Maserati. They've also given it some serious aerodynamic upgrades that make it slice through the air like a hot knife through butter. And get this, they developed and launched this bad boy in just 24 months, even with all the craziness of a global pandemic going on. That's some serious dedication right there. Now I know what you're thinking, but what about the future? Is Maserati gonna stick with gas-guzzling engines forever? Well, fear not, my friends. They've got plans to introduce a pure electric-only powertrain for the MC20 down the line. That's right, you'll be able to cruise around in this beast without leaving a carbon footprint the size of Bigfoot. But enough about the mechanics. Let's talk about the inside of this thing. The interior of the MC20 is dripping with luxury. We're talking high-quality materials everywhere you look, and more tech than you can shake a stick at. And the best part? Maserati lets you customize it to your heart's content. Ferrari Monza. All right, Hordes, we're moving up the list. The Monza is a straight-up speedster. It doesn't even have a windscreen. That's right, you're gonna be feeling the wind in your face and bugs in your teeth when you're cruising in this bad boy. But don't worry, Ferrari's got you covered. The Monza comes in two flavors, the SP1 for those lone wolf types who like to ride solo, and the SP2 for those who want to share the thrills with a lucky passenger. And trust me, there will be plenty of thrills to go around. Under the hood, the Monza is packing some serious heat. We're talking a 6.5-liter V12 engine that's ready to unleash all sorts of mayhem on the road. This thing is a beast, plain and simple. When you step on the gas, you better hold on tight because you're in for one wild ride. But the Monza isn't just about raw power. No. Ferrari has made sure that this speedster is dripping with luxury from top to bottom. The interior is a work of art, with bespoke finishes and materials that'll make you feel like you're sitting in a 5-star hotel suite. We're talking the finest leathers, the most exquisite metals, and the most advanced tech you can imagine. And let's talk about the design for a second. The Monza is a head-turner, no doubt about it. With its sleek lines and aggressive stance, it's the kind of car that'll make you the envy of every gearhead on the block. Whether you're rolling up to the club or tearing up the track, the Monza is sure to make a statement. But the best part about the Monza, it's not just a pretty face. This thing is built to perform. When you're behind the wheel, you'll feel like you're in complete control of the road. The V12 engine provides extraordinary power and responsiveness, making it an absolute thrill to drive. McLaren Artura. Hold up, because we ain't done yet. Coming in at number 12 on our list of the most luxurious supercars in the world is the McLaren Artura, and this thing is packing some serious heat under the hood. First off, let's talk about that plug-in hybrid powertrain. The Artura is rocking a combo of a 3.0-litre twin-turbo V6 engine and an electric motor that together crank out a massive 671 horsepower. That's right. 671 horses ready to gallop at a moment's notice. And when you put the pedal to the metal, this beast can rocket from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 3 seconds flat. No, really, 3 seconds. That's faster than it takes most folks to tie their shoes. And if you keep that foot down, the Artura will keep pushing all the way to a top speed of 205 miles per hour. But the Artura ain't just about raw power. It's also got a bit of a green side, thanks to that 7.4 kWh battery pack. On a full charge, you can cruise for up to 20 miles on pure electric power, making this the perfect whip for those short jaunts around town. And even when you're not in full EV mode, that hybrid setup helps keep emissions down and efficiency up. Step inside the Artura and you'll find yourself surrounded by pure, unadulterated luxury. We're talking high-end materials everywhere you look, from the seats to the dash to the steering wheel. And of course, there's plenty of high-tech goodies to play with too. At the end of the day, the McLaren Artura is the kind of supercar that's built for the everyday driver who still wants to feel like a boss behind the wheel. Meet the plug-in hybrid McLaren for the everyday, as one reviewer put it. It's got the power, the luxury, and the eco-friendly cred to make it a triple threat in the world of high-end autos. Aston Martin 512 Speedster. Introducing the Aston Martin V12 Speedster, and this thing is so bonkers, it might just make you question everything you thought you knew about driving. First off, let's talk about that engine. The V12 Speedster is packing a whopping 691 horsepower under the hood, courtesy of a massive V12 engine that'll make you feel like you're strapped to a rocket ship. And when you put the pedal to the metal, this beast can blast from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds. No, that's not a typo. 3.5 seconds. That's faster than most folks can blink. But what really sets the V12 Speedster apart is its unique design. This ain't your typical supercar, folks. No, Aston Martin decided to do something a little different with this one. They ditched the windscreen altogether, giving you an unobstructed view of the road ahead and a face full of wind. It's like riding a roller coaster, but without the safety bars. Now you might be thinking, but won't that mess up my hair? Well, yeah, probably. But that's all part of the experience, baby. This thing is designed for those who want to feel the raw thrill of driving without any pesky glass getting in the way. And to help keep you from eating too many bugs, Aston Martin threw in some fancy aero tricks to keep the air flowing smoothly around you. But don't go thinking that just because the V12 Speedster is a little unconventional, it's skimping on the luxury. No way, no how. Inside you'll find the kind of high-end materials and top-notch craftsmanship that Aston Martin is known for. We're talking the finest leathers, the most exquisite metals, and the kind of attention to detail that'll make you feel like royalty. Of course, all that luxury and performance comes at a price. The V12 Speedster is a limited edition model, with only a handful being made. That means it's not just exclusive, it's ultra exclusive. If you want to get your hands on one of these bad boys, you better have some serious cash to drop and some serious connections to make it happen. But man, if you do manage to snag one of these beauties, you'll be the talk of the town. The V12 Speedster is the kind of car that turns heads and drops jaws wherever it goes. Porsche 911 Turbo S. This ride ain't just a one-trick pony, folks. No, it's got more tricks up its sleeve than a magician at a kid's birthday party. Under the hood, you'll find a 3.7-litre twin-turbo flat-six engine that cranks out a massive 641 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That's the kind of power that'll make you feel like you're strapped to a rocket no matter where you're heading. But the 911 Turbo S ain't just about straight-line speed. This thing is built to handle whatever you throw at it, whether you're carving up a twisty mountain road, cruising down the highway, or even hitting the track. It's got a reputation for excellence in all kinds of driving conditions, and it's easy to see why. Step inside and you'll find yourself surrounded by luxury. We're talking top-tier materials everywhere you look, from the premium leather upholstery to the high-tech infotainment system. It's the kind of cabin that'll make you feel like a boss, even if you're just running errands around town. And when it comes to performance, the 911 Turbo S ain't no slouch. In fact, it was named the Speed Week champion of 2020, beating out heavy hitters like the McLaren 765 LT and the Ferrari F8. That's the kind of street cred that money can't buy. Even the experts are impressed by this ride. Top Gear's Chris Harris said it left quite the impression on us all. That's high praise coming from a guy who drives supercars for a living. At the end of the day, the Porsche 911 Turbo S is the kind of supercar that can do it all. It's got the power to thrill, the luxury to chill, and the versatility to handle whatever life throws your way. Hennessy Venom F5. Talk about that engine. The Venom F5 is rocking a massive 6.6-litre twin-turbo V8 that they call Fury. And man, does it live up to its name. This thing cranks out an astonishing 1,792 horsepower and 1,192 pound-feet of torque. That's the kind of power that'll make you feel like you're strapped to a rocket ship. But it ain't just about raw power. The Venom F5 is built for speed, and I mean serious speed. Hennessy claims this beast can hit a top speed of 311 miles per hour. That's not a typo, folks. 311 miles per hour. If that holds true, it'd make the Venom F5 one of the fastest cars on the planet. And when it comes to acceleration, this thing is in a league of its own. It can go from 0 to 250 miles per hour in just 15.5 seconds. To put that in perspective, that's more than twice as fast as a Bugatti Chiron. Wrap your head around that. But to achieve those kinds of numbers, you gotta keep things light. That's why the Venom F5 uses a ton of carbon fiber in its construction. It's got a custom carbon tub and panels that help keep the weight down to just 1,360 kilograms. That's only 30 kilos more than a Ferrari F8 Tributo, despite having over 1,000 more horsepower. And then there's the aerodynamics. The Venom F5's design is all about slicing through the air like a hot knife through butter. Every curve, every line is engineered to reduce drag and keep this thing stable at crazy high speeds. But don't go thinking you can just waltz into a dealership and pick one up. The Venom F5 is ultra exclusive, with only 24 units being made. And guess what? They're all sold out already. But if you were one of the lucky few who snagged one, you got some serious customization options to make it your own. So yeah, the Hennessy Venom F5 is a beast of a machine. It's got power for days, speed that'll make your head spin, and exclusivity that'll make you feel like a boss. Gordon Murray T50. The T50 is packing a naturally aspirated V12 that revs up to a mind-blowing 12,100 revolutions per minute. That's the kind of high-pitched scream that'll make your hair stand on end. And with 654 horses under the hood, this thing ain't no slouch in the power department either. But the real magic of the T50 is in its design. Gordon Murray, the mastermind behind the iconic McLaren F1, set out to create a spiritual successor that pushes the boundaries of what's possible. And boy, did he deliver. The T50 is all about keeping things light and nimble. The whole thing weighs in at just 986 kilograms thanks to the extensive use of lightweight materials like carbon fiber. That's like having a feather in your pocket compared to some of the other heavyweights on this list. And then there's the seating arrangement. Just like the McLaren F1, the T50 puts the driver front and center with two passenger seats slightly behind on either side. It's a layout that's all about putting the focus on the person behind the wheel, and it's sure to make you feel like a total boss. But the T50 isn't just about raw power and speed. It's got some seriously clever aerodynamics going on too. There's a 400mm fan at the rear that helps to manage airflow, creating downforce and reducing drag. It's a trick that Murray borrowed from his days in Formula One, and it's the kind of innovation that sets the T50 apart. Step inside and you'll find yourself in a cabin that's both luxurious and minimalist. The focus is all on the driving experience, with high-end materials and a no-nonsense layout that puts everything right where you need it. It's the kind of interior that'll make you feel like you're in a cockpit, ready to take on the world. So yeah, the Gordon Murray T50 is a pretty special machine. It's got the power to thrill, the lightweight design to keep things nimble, and the kind of innovative features that'll make you feel like you're driving the future. And with only 100 units being made, it's the kind of exclusivity that'll make you feel like you're part of a pretty special club. Lotus Evija. Let's talk about that electric setup. The Evija is packing a whopping 1,972 horsepower. Yeah, you heard that right. 1,972. That's the kind of power that'll make you feel like you're strapped to a lightning bolt. And when it comes to acceleration, this thing is in a league of its own. It can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. That's the kind of speed that'll make your face feel like it's peeling off. But it ain't just about raw power. The Evija's got some serious style too. It's got this wild Tron-style design that looks like it's straight out of the future. Every curve, every line is designed to turn heads and drop jaws. And don't even get me started on the interior. The Evija's cabin is packed with all kinds of luxurious finishes that'll make you feel like royalty. We're talking high-end materials everywhere you look, all designed to make you feel like you're riding in the lap of luxury. But the real kicker? The Evija is so hot it's already won awards, and it ain't even out yet. Top Gear gave it the One to Watch award in their 2021 Electric Awards. That's how you know this thing is going to be a game changer. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I get my hands on one of these bad boys? Well, I hate to break it to you, but the Evija is ultra exclusive. Lotus is only making a handful of these things, so unless you've got some serious connections, you might be out of luck. But hey, that's what makes it so special, right? The Evija is the kind of ride that's reserved for the elite, the kind of people who demand the best of the best. And with that all-electric powertrain, those insane acceleration numbers, and that jaw-dropping design, the Evija definitely delivers. So yeah, the Lotus Evija is a pretty mind-blowing machine. It's got the power to thrill, the style to turn heads, and the exclusivity to make you feel like you're part of a pretty special club. McLaren Speedtail. Just when you think things couldn't get any wilder, we're about to hit you with the McLaren Speedtail. This thing is all about one thing: speed. I'm talking about a top speed of 250 miles per hour. That's the kind of speed that'll make your cheeks flap like a flag in a hurricane. But how did they pull it off? Well, it all starts with the design. The Speedtail is streamlined to the max, with every curve and angle designed to slice through the air like a hot knife through butter. It's the kind of aerodynamic wizardry that'd make NASA jealous. But it ain't just about looks. The Speedtail is packing some serious heat under the hood. We're talking about a hybrid V8 engine that churns out a mind-blowing 1,036 horsepower. That's like having a team of wild horses strapped to your ride. And when you step inside, it's like entering a whole new world of luxury. The Speedtail is dripping with opulent materials that'll make you feel like you're sitting on a throne. We're talking about the finest leathers, the most exquisite metals, and carbon fiber that's so smooth you could eat your dinner off it. But here's the kicker: the Speedtail ain't just fast in a straight line. It's got the kind of handling that'll make you feel like you're glued to the road. You can whip this thing around corners like a pro, all while feeling like you're floating on a cloud of pure luxury. And the best part? The Speedtail is exclusive as all hell. McLaren is only making 106 of these bad boys, so if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, you know you're part of a pretty elite club. Ferrari 812 Competizione. The 812 Competizione is a whole different animal, and it's packing a punch that'll make your jaw drop. First off, let's talk about that engine. The 812 Competizione is rocking a naturally aspirated V12 that's free of any electric components or turbochargers. That's right, this thing is all about raw, unadulterated power. And with 819 horsepower and 513 pound-feet of torque on tap, it's got more than enough to get your heart racing. But it ain't just about the power. Ferrari has engineered this thing to be a go-faster version of the already insane 812 Superfast. They've shaved off weight wherever they could and fine-tuned the aerodynamics to make it slice through the air like a hot knife through butter. Every curve, every line is designed to help this thing reach peak performance. And when you step inside, you're greeted with a cabin that's dripping with luxury. Ferrari has spared no expense here, using only the finest materials to craft an interior that's as comfortable as it is stylish. From the supple leather to the intricate stitching, every detail has been obsessed over to create a driving experience that's second to none. But here's the really crazy part. The 812 Competizione might just be the last of its kind. Top Gear has noted that this could be Ferrari's final hurrah for the naturally aspirated V12 before they start adding hybrid systems to the mix. That means if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one of these, you're not just getting an insanely fast car, you're getting a piece of history. So yeah, the Ferrari 812 Competizione is a pretty special machine. It's got the power to thrill, the engineering to impress, and the exclusivity to make you feel like you're part of something truly elite. But if you think that's the end of the story, think again. The next car on our list is taking things to a whole new level with a hybrid system that's gonna blow your mind. This thing is combining the raw power of a V12 with an electric boost that'll pin you back in your seat, and with a transmission that shifts so smooth you'll barely even feel it. Lamborghini Sian. And just when you thought Lamborghini couldn't get any wilder, they go and drop the Sian on us. This thing is a hybrid monster, packing a mind-blowing 808 horsepower under the hood. That's right, Lamborghini took their already insane V12 engine and slapped an electric boost on top of it, creating a powertrain that'll make your head spin. But it ain't just about raw power with the Sian. Lamborghini has fine-tuned this beast to deliver the kind of performance that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about supercars. The gear shifts, smooth as butter. The handling, so precise you could thread a needle with it. This thing is engineered to perfection, and it shows in every single aspect of the driving experience. And let's talk about the design for a second. The Sian is a work of art on wheels, with every curve and angle carefully crafted to turn heads and drop jaws. It's got all the luxury touches you'd expect from a Lamborghini, like the finest leather and the most advanced tech, but it's also got a style that's all its own. This thing looks like it's ready to take on the world, and it's got the performance to back it up. But here's the real kicker. The Sian is exclusive as all hell. Lamborghini is only making 63 of these bad boys, which means if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, you're part of a pretty elite club. You're not just driving a supercar, you're driving a piece of automotive history. And when you step on the gas, the Sian is gonna pin you back in your seat like nothing else. That electric boost kicks in instantly, giving you a surge of power that'll make your heart race. And with a top speed that's north of 200 miles per hour, you know this thing is built for speed. So yeah, the Lamborghini Sian is a pretty special machine. It's got the power to thrill, the luxury to impress, and the exclusivity to make you feel like you're part of something truly elite. Pininfarina Battista. This thing is on a whole other level, and it's sharing some seriously advanced tech with one of the craziest hypercars out there, the Rimac Nevera. But don't get it twisted, the Battista ain't just a Nevera with a different badge slapped on it. Nah, Pininfarina has taken that base and given it an Italian makeover that'll make your jaw drop. The design on this thing is pure art, with curves that flow like water and angles that could cut glass. It's got that unmistakable Italian flair that just screams luxury and style, and when you pop the hood, the Battista is packing some serious heat. We're talking 1,914 horsepower of pure, unadulterated power. That's enough to make even the most hardcore gearheads weak in the knees. And with all that juice on tap, the Battista ain't playing around when it comes to performance. This thing can rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 1.85 seconds. That's faster than you can say, holy crap, that's fast. And if you keep your foot on the gas, the Battista will keep on pushing, hitting 100 miles per hour in a mind-blowing 4.3 seconds. But it doesn't stop there. This beast can hit 186 miles per hour in just 9.3 seconds, on its way to a top speed of 258 miles per hour. That's the kind of speed that'll make you question your sanity, but in the best possible way. But here's the real kicker. Pininfarina has partnered up with ChargePoint to give Battista owners 5 years of free charging. That's right, you can blast around at breakneck speeds without ever having to worry about the cost of juicing up your ride. It's the kind of perk that makes owning a hypercar that much sweeter. And when you step inside the Battista, you're greeted with an interior that's dripping with luxury. We're talking the finest materials money can buy, all crafted together to create a cabin that's as comfortable as it is stylish. Rimac Nevera. In your thought the Batista was wild, just wait until you get a load of the Rimac Nevera. No, really, this thing is on a whole other level. I'm talking about an insane 1,914 horsepower coming from a monster 120 kilowatt-hour battery and 4 motors, one for each wheel. That's the kind of power that'll make your eyeballs pop out of your skull, but it ain't just about the raw numbers with the Nevera. This thing is fast in a way that's hard to even put into words. Jason Barlow from Top Gear said it best. It's astonishingly fast. Fast in a way that's tricky to put into words, either while you're sitting in it trying to process what the hell is happening to your mind, body and soul when you nail the throttle, or a few days later writing about it. Yeah, that about sums it up. I mean, just look at the acceleration numbers, 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mind-bending 1.85 seconds, 100 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds. And if you keep your foot down, the Nevera will hit 186 miles per hour in just 9.3 seconds on its way to a top speed of 258 miles per hour. That's the kind of speed that'll make you question your life choices, but in the best possible way. But the Nevera ain't just about going fast in a straight line. This thing is packed to the gills with the latest and greatest tech to make sure it handles like a dream. The interior is dripping with luxury too, with high-end materials and cutting-edge design everywhere you look. It's the kind of car that makes you feel like $1 million just sitting in it. And when you step on the gas, the Nevera is gonna blow your mind all over again. The instant torque from those electric motors is like nothing else on the road. It's the kind of acceleration that'll make you forget your own name. And with a battery that big, you know this thing is gonna keep on pushing long after most other cars have run out of juice. So yeah, the Rimac Nevera is a pretty special machine. It's got the power to make your heart race, the luxury to make you feel like royalty, and the technology to make you feel like you're driving something straight out of the future. Bugatti Chiron Supersport. Talking about the Bugatti Chiron Supersport. This thing is on a whole other level. It ain't just the king of the hill, it's the king of the whole damn mountain. The Chiron Supersport is the fastest production car in the world, and it's got the specs to back it up. Under the hood, this beast is packing an 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine that pumps out a mind-blowing 1,578 horsepower. That's the kind of power that'll make your heart skip a beat every time you hit the gas. And when you do, the Chiron Supersport will unleash a fury like nothing else on the road. Now you might be thinking, but wait, didn't the Chiron already hit 304 miles per hour? Why is this one limited to 273? Well, my friend, that's because even Bugatti knows that there's such a thing as too much of a good thing. They electronically limited the top speed of the Chiron Supersport to just 273 miles per hour, because let's face it, anything more than that is just showing off. But it ain't just about the raw power with this thing. No, the Bugatti Chiron Supersport is a work of art inside and out. The design is pure perfection, with lines that flow like water and curves that'll make your jaw drop. And when you step inside, you're greeted with an interior that's dripping with opulence. We're talking the finest materials money can buy, all crafted together to create a cabin that's fit for a king. Every surface, every stitch, every detail has been obsessed over to create an experience that's second to none. And with advanced technology packed into every inch of this thing, you know you're driving something special. It's the kind of car that makes you feel like $1 million just sitting in it. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what Jack Ricks from Top Gear had to say about the Chiron Supersport. 273 mph is plenty enough, especially at a sopping wet Nürburgring. That's right, this thing is so fast it'll make even the most hardcore gearheads weak in the knees.